Hey Steve, this is Jim Fenice from Quik Stage, and what you're seeing is the cursed ramp. Finally, we've got it done today, and a little bit of a delay again today. These loops on the end right here, Eric, I'm going to scan these here. These loops were what we were waiting for from the factory. Were delayed, and of course the UPS truck was delayed, but we finally got them, and it's about 12:30 here Central Time. We're going to scramble and try to get this video made really quickly, so it's going to be informal, and we just want to show you how to put this thing together really quickly, make your life a lot simpler, and try to get it out in the truck today. Eric, if you'll scan over there for me really quick. You can see the cart over there, Eric, right there. Steve, we're going to load everything on that cart and ship it out on that. The ramps will be the three, we'll show you something loaded. The three 8-footers are going to sit here and the 5-footer here. And there's brackets that come across on both. And over here we have what we call moose ears. All the railings will hang on there. We've put Velcro on there to protect them. So we try to do everything nice so it gives you a lot of years of use. But we're going to start up here, Steve, and just show you. And again, when you get this, if you got any questions, give us a call. So, you know, you're used to using our staging, and that stuff goes together really quick. And this is probably not quite as simple as the staging, but yet it's a really neat system. We don't build our own anymore. We have somebody build these for us, and then we bring them in, and they're really designed to be a permanent installation, and so we modify them and make them portable or temporary. In your case, you know, where you're going to take it up and down, and we're going to show you the easy way to set it up and down. So when you set this up, you want to start with the landing ramp here. And so you've asked us to do something a little unique, which is you want to use, as you can see right here, you come up the ramp, and here is what we will refer to as the end of the ramp, okay? And they come out of the stage this way. But you wanted to be able to access both sides. So we've pre-drilled all the holes so you can switch that piece out right over there. That'll come over to this side, and those holes will match up exactly here. And all you're doing is just dropping a bolt through there, and we're going to show you how you do that here in a minute. And so these loops here, so these normally, if I was going to come off the ramp this way, I would not have this loop on there, but it's your option. So because I don't know which way you're going to set this up, and I know you're short on time, we installed both of them for you, okay? And Tommy, will you grab me a plastic insert here so I can show you what we're going to do here? So normally you would just have, if you're coming out this way, you see the loop over there up against that railing. This one would just have a plastic insert. If you just take this out, and what you have here is just, we call them tech screws, and we're sending some extra ones along here. These have a Phillips head on here, and these are just a hex head on here that we use a cordless drill to put them in there, a socket head. And so if you want to, we've pre-drilled everything here so it'll go in. So if you choose, and you know, you may choose to just leave this on, which is going to leave you a 4-foot width to get onto the stage here. It's up to you. Or if you take it off, we have this little plastic insert here. If you take off these 4 bolts, 2 here, unscrew this piece right here. This one will be attached to the little insert that's inside as a bridge. And then it just pops in here, and it gives it a real finished look here. And we sanded this all off here so it's smooth. So if you use that, it's your choice to do that. So again, if you're coming up the ramp this way, turning right onto the stage, you may not want this loop, but if you do, just go ahead and leave it on. And then if you're doing it the opposite way, obviously you would take that one off. So we're going to, Tommy, if you want to come over and give me a hand over here, we want to show you how these railings go on here, especially on this top ramp. Let's come around that side over here, Tommy. That's right. By the way, this is Tommy. He's our factory foreman. He built this ramp for you here. So if you're unhappy, it's all his fault. Anyway, go ahead and let's pull this off really quick. And okay, so it's coming around this side here. So if you were going to come up on the ramp, like we talked about going the other side, and your best friend here is going to be this rubber mallet, and I'm going to send one of these along with you, and also a can of silicone spray. We've had these on and off a lot of times, so they slide on really well, but if something goes on hard, and you can just see right here, it's just really a channel going on a channel, okay? So, and then we have holes right here, if you can see that, Eric, there's holes drilled here and here. And what we did when we drilled this, we made sure when we drilled this one, we did the identical holes. We went through these as pilot holes, so they will match up exactly. So if you were just going to put those over there, like that, and again, your mallet, just put it here to let you do that. Okay. And that's it, and then you would just, the holes would line up, and then you would just drop the, and here we're just off a little bit, but it's just nothing to slide it down. Yeah. Then you would just drop the 6-inch bolt through there with a with a pan head, a smooth head on the top, and there's a wing nut, and that's all you do, and that's it. And then will you grab those two little spacers over there? So if you choose to have, oh, he put them back, okay. Well, anyway, if you choose, you can just leave it like this. Otherwise, there's some little spacers or brackets here. And if you want to go ahead, we're not going to pre-drill these for you. They would just go here, and they would just hold those connected. If you're going to do this as a permanent installation, I'd suggest you probably do that. The hole's already drilled in here, and then you just, I always drill a pilot hole, and then we have these tech screws, cordless drill, just put them in there. That's all you need to do. You can do one here, or just one above here. But that's all you need to do there. So when you set this up, like we talked about, you'll always start with, when we build these ramps, we always start with the 5 foot, it's 5.5 foot ramp on the top, okay? Eric, if you come over in here. So you're going to want to have, there's going to be a one end of this, and you're going to see here, it has this lip right here, okay? As you notice, there's no legs holding this part of the ramp up. There's actually a lip built into this top of the stage, or this ramp section here, that connects into that lip right there. You just set that on there, okay? So once you've got this 5x5 set up, you're going to need to set that up there, and you're going to use your first set of legs on here, okay? And then, so once that set of legs is on there, and what's kind of tricky about this, and one of the things that we don't like when we get them from the factory, the holes are not always perfect. Sometimes we drill new holes. So we'll mark these for you where we'll put a black line with a magic marker across the hole that we're using. But remember, you're just getting from 8 to 16 feet to 24 or inches to 24 inches here. And this is exactly 24 inches here. We've leveled everything off using these holes right here, and we put a black line there for you. So once you've got this at your 24 inches high, the rest should be easy going down for you. So you'll do the ramp 5x5 landing first. Don't put the railings or anything on, just the ramp itself. Then we're going to come and put this section on. You're going to need to put these legs in place. So at that point, you just got this section sitting up here on the legs, okay? And you're going to want to get a tape measure and just measure where you got it here. And it's really important that you get that at the right height, because once we come to putting these handrails on, and these are all sleeved in here, you got to really have them perfectly level. Otherwise, you're going to get little gaps in here. And so when it's perfectly level, everything pulls together nicely, and it works. And the first time you set it up, you're probably going to be a little frustrated for a minute or two, but I'm telling you, it does work. We've done many of these things, and you just got to kind of play with it and make sure your floor is level. And you know, unlike our staging, we don't have an adjustable foot on them, but and you can mess with the holes here, and you know, if things got so bad you couldn't do it, just drill a new hole through here. But it should be perfect, and we'll mark that like we said, okay? So once this one is sitting up here, then you come again, this second section of the ramp doesn't have legs again. It's using this set of legs here. It's working off of that. It's got that same hook lip in thing there. You just set it right on there, okay? And then you'll come down, and that one's going to have the other set of legs on. So there's really only 4 sets of legs on here. 2 sets or 4 legs each on the landing, a set of 2 across on the first section, a set of 2 on the second section, and then we come right down here to the third section, or the loading ramp, or the walk-up ramp. As you can see, it's tapered right there, the starting ramp, and that one just sits on the ground. So, you know, again, you're going to want to make sure your floor is level there, and I'm assuming your facility is probably level, and that should work out well. So all we've done here, if you want to come around here, if you're looking here, so we've got all 3 sections landed there. You're coming up your landing, you're going left or right, and that's basically your ramp. So what we're going to do here is we're going to disassemble this ramp, taking the guardrails and everything off, and then we're going to number them, okay? So Tommy, why don't you come over here a second? So Tommy does this, and so why don't you just tell me, you're going to start here with like number 1, what do you do?
I usually start on top with the landing.
Okay.
Will be A.
Okay.
And then I work, you know, and then this is B.
Okay.
C, D.
D.
And I'll just label each handrail, like for B, I'll put B left side.
Okay.
You know that the handrails for the left side.
Okay. And this will obviously be right side here. And then what we'll do, when you see when we pull off these guardrails, you're going to see that there's actually a channel on the back side. We actually write inside this channel, which is on the back side of here, okay? We'll write in there with magic marker, plus we're going to write on the ramp. So, you know, when you look at it, you're going to go, man, they wrote all over my ramp. But once you put them together, you never see anything, all right? So it's the simplest and the easiest. So all you gotta do is follow the instructions. Just put, you know, A left or whatever he does, however he numbers it, and then we'll also put it on a piece of paper for you, and we'll draw out some instructions for you, and then it just goes together. Again, the first time is always the hardest, but once you've done it once, it'll go together, and it's just the secret of getting it leveled. And when we pull this apart, we're gonna show you how these things go together here. So we're gonna cut right here. We're gonna start taking it apart, and then we'll come back in and continue with segment 2 here. Ready? Steve, what we're doing here is we're just showing you how we're taking it apart. And again, we're just using a cordless drill where we've used these tech screws, and these things really bite in there, and they're sometimes a little hard to get out, but they come out. Sometimes you got to use the pliers too. Go ahead. Yeah, we'll use it. There we go. I got it out. Okay, so then just go across to the other side. Steve, here is how we connect these guardrails too, and all we did was drill a hole through all the way through the bottom there, and this panhead bolt again just goes all the way through there, comes in there, and then we just attach this wing nut on the bottom, so there's no tools required. That's it. And when we take this apart, we'll drill that bottom hole a little bit bigger, so it's easier for it to slide in and out down below. And the first ramp only has 4 bolts in it. The reason being is that because it's sitting on the ground, you couldn't get underneath it. But these other 4 railings up here will have 3 each on it. And so you'll want to put all 3 in it, and that'll keep it nice and safe and strong. So we'll keep taking this apart here, and we'll catch that in the next segment. As I said earlier, your man's best friend with these ramps is his rubber mallet. So go ahead, and it's the only way to do it. Okay, and then you're going to see it just slides out. Eric, just kind of scan right in here. You see this insert here? So that's just there, and we left it a little bit loose, so it's easier when you're putting this on, and when you're reinstalling it, you're going to get that on the hole there, and then it's just going to go down there. You see the channel, and that's it. So show them the back side here. So see that channel just slides over this one and slides over that. So we're going to mark this in here. We'll write on here, and then we'll write on there, so you'll know which one goes where. Okay. Steve, in order for this to fit onto the ramp cart, we've got to remove these 2 sets of legs for transport here today, otherwise it isn't going to fit on there. And this is really easy. That bracket we've already shrink wrapped so it doesn't rattle out going down the road. So basically all you're doing here is this part here. This fits in there. Obviously you'd put this part in here, okay? And then bolt goes through, tighten it up, that's it. And you're going to want to make sure before you tighten this that you've got this rotated right for the angle of the pitch going up there. So that's it. These parts will be there, really simple to do, and it's pretty self-explanatory when you see it. Okay. Steve, what we're doing here so this can ship on the ramp perfectly here is that we have to remove the legs from this landing section as well here. And so what we're doing here, we're just going to number these for you. 1, 1. And as you can see on here, you can actually put the legs from 2 directions here. It has to go the way we've got it oriented here for you, otherwise it won't fit up tight against the stage, okay? So again, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4 here. And they're just real quick. It's just, unfortunately, it's part of the necessary evil of putting these ramps together. So, like I said, it's not quite as easy as doing a stage, but when you're done, you've really got a nice ramp, and it's solid and looks great and safe for your people. So Steve, what we've done here now, we've loaded everything on the cart here for you. You can see we've got the guardrails on this side, and we've got the ramp sections over here. One thing I would probably tell you to do, and it's all right, you just see because this is tapered on this first starting ramp, I actually put that one on first, and it works fine. On the bottom, it sits up tight. Right here, it doesn't because it's kind of tapered, but everything, it doesn't matter. It works either way. But everything nests, you see how we got it nested inside here, so you always want to go in the same direction, and it's made to do that. We were really tight on this one because you had 24 feet to get it all on one cart. Typically we would split this into 2 carts, but we did it on one for you on this one. And so we had to get it so it wouldn't be any wider than 48 feet or 48 inches. So for shipping, and we're just slightly under, I think we're at 46, to keep everything on the inside here So, the legs are, if you look over here, Eric, the legs are off. So we're going to take those legs now and come over here, and we're going to set them up in here for travel. So those are going to ride up in here for you. When you get those are the legs that are going to go on the bottom of the ramps as we talked about for the second and third and the fourth level. So that's it. Everything's compact. We'll get the weight for you on this thing, but everything will roll. It's a heavy-duty cart, 6-inch casters, 2-inch wide wheels. They're all swivel. And as you can see, what we did here, because of trying to keep it within this 4-foot area here, we reversed the guardrails. So top, bottom here, so we just reversed them. The bottom's on the top, and here bottom's on the bottom, and it helped it nested in here. But I think when you're doing it for your own purposes, I think you can just hang them from the top without any problems, because they'll just maybe kick out a little bit on this side here, but it'll all fit on there. It's designed to fit, but for us to get it tight on there, we did it this way. Everything's packed really tight. So when you get this, you're gonna have to cut a lot of shrink wrap and everything on, and whatever. So before I forget, I'm hoping you're gonna view this video before you get this. Make sure when you guys receive this that you double check everything for freight damage. This thing's gonna be wrapped up, and we'll show you here in a minute after we get done. This thing's gonna be wrapped up like a mummy before we get done, all cardboarded and foamed and everything here. And so we do everything we can to protect it. Doesn't stop the trucking company from sticking a forklift to it, and especially on this particular ramp that's been cursed since day one. So I almost assume something will happen. But anyway, just double check it, and if it is, make sure you sign for it as damaged. But really, really, really tell your guys to double check this for me, and so if there's damage, I can go back after them and file a claim. But hopefully everything will be fine. Everything's elevated here. Typically, it's when staging, they'll clip the first deck or something. So I'm thinking on this, we're going to be fine. Obviously, these, because of the loops on the rails, these hang over to 10 feet, so they're hanging over the edge, but we'll foam everything, and again, just double check all that. Steve, we're sending along these couple of extra pieces here, and what this is what I call a transfer plate. So when up on your landing, if you want to go between here and the stage, when you push that landing tight up against your stage, there could be a crack there. We'll just send this along. It's a nice piece of aluminum. It's got some non-skid on it. You may use it, you may not. It's kind of thick. I had the factory send it to me, and sometimes I like it a little thinner, so there's, somebody's got to roll a wheelchair over it or something, but I'll send it along. It's a nice piece of aluminum, would work good for you, and you can kind of figure out what you want to do with it. And this other piece right here, this is optional. We don't install, I wrote on there optional for side against the stage. It's just an end cap to close it in. This is the part where you're not going to have a guardrail where people go exit or enter onto the stage. It's up to you if you want to put it on there. Typically, it's if we were going to install it, it's got a couple of pilot hole screws on here. We'll send along a couple tech screws if you want to put it on there. My guess is you'll never use it. We'll send it along for you. If you don't like it, sell it for scrap aluminum. Same with this. But I would hang on to this transfer plate. It may come in handy at some point, but we'll send it along, and you can see fit to use it as you need. So. Hey Steve, we've finally finished this up. It's all packed, ready to go. It's late here, about 4:30 on Tuesday, but I'm getting a late truck in here, and it's going to get out of here today. It'll go FedEx 3-day priority. You'll see it on Friday. As you can see, it's a pretty well encased large pallet. It's going to be about 10 feet long, 6 or 7 feet high, and it weighs about not quite 1,300 pounds. So you're going to need a forklift with forklift extensions or something. But anyway, as you can see, we got stickers all over on this thing. Have them double check, whoever receives your freight there, have them double check this thing for damage. Just make sure, the way this thing's been going, who knows, they'll probably run a forklift into it, but I don't think so. We normally don't have any problems with these ramps getting damaged. So just have them cut the cardboard off before they sign for it. If there's any damage, make sure they sign for it as damaged. Go ahead and accept it unless it's totally destroyed, which I've never seen happen, but just make sure I actually come over here, Eric. I actually put a note on the side to remind you to double check this freight before you sign for it, and that's it. So again, thank you for your patience, and if you have any questions, give us a call, and we can talk you through it. This thing's pretty simple to put together, actually. Thanks a lot, Steve.